Hey guys, welcome back. Now in this video we're going to see how to transfer data from one view controller to the next. So for example, as you can see this text right here, guys, I need to help on making this app, and it's truncated. There's more detail to it. So if I want to click it and be able to view the whole text. So to start, we're going to create the data is going to be displayed. So let's drag in a view controller again. We've done this numerous times, so just drag in a view controller right there, just drop, and then change the size to 4 inches, the iPhone 4-inch, and then I will now come and create a new class, file, Cocoa class. We've done this over and over, so. And then instead of UI table view cell, this is a UI view controller. UI view controller. And I'm going to say status detail view controller. Something like that. Let's create, save it in the project, and then change the from Cocoa to UI kit, and then come here, click on it, and then on the identity inspector, change the class here to be so that it's controlled by the status detail view controller. Okay, so that these are communicating, which is great. Now we want to say we want to drag in a label. So I will just drag in a label. This is going to now display the status in detail in length. So I'm going to expand its size up to about that, then make it a little tall. Okay, now I will drag this and okay, sorry about that. I clicked shift, so I need to click control and then drag it so that we give it we can be able to control it. And we're going to say this is the status detail label, something like that. Okay, so and then now here on view did load, we're going to want to do something. So we're going to set the grab the data from the list item that has been clicked, and we're going to send this status into here, and then we're going to view it in more detail. You get the idea. Sometimes you want to send like an object ID. For example, if you have a huge image that is going to be downloaded or video, and you want to maybe query the server again, so you might want to send the object ID to the detail section so that you could, for example, view the image or play the video or something like that. So this is always handy. So let's go ahead and look how we can do it. The first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to expect a string. So we're going to expect a string here, and in this string we're going to make it nil in the first place, so that if it's sent to this status detail and the status is not available actually, or it's nil, we could always take care of it, handle it, and avoid crashes. You get the idea. So let's go ahead and check that. Let's go ahead and see how to do that. All right, so let's create a string here, and we're going to let's first of all say items to receive. It can be more, but in this case we just want a string, which is the status itself. So you're going to say status, and it's a string. I'm going to give it a question mark, so that means it can be nil. Okay, So I mean, it can be, this means that it can be a string, or it can be a nil. And then we're going to say status label, this status detail label dot text equals to the status that we receive itself, so that we can view it in detail. And let's try to run that. Well, we won't see anything at all right now because of course we haven't seen how to transfer the data. So let's go back now to our home view controller, and now let's say now when I click on an item, let's transfer the status. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to use something called a Storyboard ID. Previously we've been using segues. Now in this one you're going to use a Storyboard ID, and it's pretty much simple to understand. So we're going to give this view, instead of a segue, we're going to click it and then come to the attribute inspector right here. And actually it's not the attribute, but hold on, yeah, it's actually the identity inspector right here at the Storyboard ID. We haven't looked at Storyboard IDs yet. This is the first time we're looking at this. So we're going to give this a Storyboard ID of now we can say status detail view storyboard or something. We can say status detail story, then want to make sure it sticks, and then we could copy that, and then now we're going to say we want to now, when I click on an item, we want to open the storyboard with the ID that, okay, we're gonna open the storyboard with that ID and send it some data. Pretty clear there, I hope so. So now we're going to say, now we're going to create a let variable here, which is a constant, and we're going to say it's a view controller. So we're going to go to this view controller, and we're going to we gave it a name of status detail view controller, okay, and then we're going to say equals to self dot storyboard, okay, and then we say instantiate view controller with identifier, and the identifier that we want to give it is that, okay, and then we say as status view controller. Let me just hide this so we have more room here, and it's right here. So we create a let variable called view controller, which is this class of the storyboard that we the status storyboard right here, and it has that ID, and then we come and say view controller dot, and as you can see, as soon as I click dot, status shows up, and as you can see, it has a question mark, and that's this the same status that is on right here. It's this one right here, the one that is to be received right here. So it shows up on the home page as soon as I call status right here, dot status, because I'm calling it right here. As you can see, I'm calling the class. So pretty self-explanatory right there. And then we say now we want to grab a status, and we want to say user statuses dot array, and then the array at this index path dot raw. So you see how index path dot raws come in handy again. Yep. So self dot, and then we come say self.present view controller, and then the view controller that we want to present is view controller, the one we have right here. And then we want to animate it. Yep, we could say true, and then we don't want any completion callback. So that should send our status right here. So let's try this. Let's run it. Hopefully it works. Okay, so let me log in. And then when I click this, I'm taking this, and as you can see, the status appears right here. And as you can see, it's still truncated, but you've seen the data is being passed right here. So that's good. I'm going to now copy maybe, for example, this navigation item right here and just paste it right here. I don't think I copied it, but okay. I'm going to pause for a little bit for this noise to go down. Alright, so while the noise was going on, I went ahead and I put the status detail correctly, and this navigation bar. So we're going to put another segue to say when I click on back from the detail view, I'm back to the home page right here. So I'm going to just drag that and drop it right there, and then from there I could just move this back to its position. So now that should work. And then now, as you saw earlier, this is still truncated. So I might, for example, maybe make it a little small to about maybe 12, and then I can say now I can add another attribute right here to the status detail and say instead of just having it like that, I can for example okay, so we could just give it a number of lines, one of those status detail okay. I'll just copy this from my previous code, just paste it in here. So I've used this before, so I couldn't remember how it's. Now that should kind of make it look like the whole text to be visible pretty much. Okay, so I have to log in again. I need to fix this issue. I'm going to show you how right now. So as you can see, it shows the whole message now. When I click back, I'm taken back, so that is good. Now one thing I want to show you is when you run the app again, and if the user is logged in, they're taken that just straight to the home page. Excuse me. So we're going to do that by coming to actually we're going to just make this the initial view, and then let's see. And then we'll be taken here. So now this is when the user is logged in. So let me actually log out, then run it again. Now, well, I don't know, that doesn't really make any sense to me. So what I want to do is I want to come here to the home view controller and say view did layout subviews. I want to perform something when this layout subviews have emerged, and I can do that right here. So I will say view did layout subviews. So if all the subviews have already been you know, laid out or visible, we can say check if user is logged in, else log out user. So here we can say, what we can do is I'll just copy a code from one of my previous apps. So I'll just paste it right here so I can explain it. So what happens here, you can say you want to do this when the views layout subviews have already been laid out. You just say check if the PF user, the current user, is equal to nil, and then perform a segue of logout. I've already covered segues before, so I'm not going to show you how this works because it's pretty much the same things. But you want to do that when the view did layout subviews have already been done, and you'll see a sort of redirection happen. So the app will be ready and available in the App Store. So if you want to check the whole detail out, just get in touch. Otherwise, I'll send you a message pretty soon and inform you when. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep working hard and keep coding and trying again and repeating what you already know. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.